All right, we're talking about Las Vegas here, both the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series in this video. Real quick, I know, I've been out of town a lot this week. I gotta go out of town one last time this weekend, so no live shows. I promise. It's the last one for the year. I know we're only gonna have Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix left after this, but that's it. I promise I will be here for the rest. I mean, we're still going to have the projections up. We're still going to have the sheets updated and everything, but I just won't be live this week. For those of you that have been watching live shows and stuff, I really appreciate it. I am honestly baffled that I get like 80 to 100 viewers on football Sunday morning, and a little bit more for Xfinity on Saturdays. That blows my brains. Thank you guys very much for watching and supporting the channel. When we look at Las Vegas specifically, and we'll talk about the Cup Series first, I have not used Las Vegas 1 data really at all this year. Yes, I used it when we were entering intermediates in the month of May, specifically Dover, Darlington, Kansas, Charlotte, because Las Vegas was the only one that we had. But we need to remember that Las Vegas was only the third race that this car had been to, okay, that these teams had been to. We had gone to Daytona, no usable data from that. Fontana, that was a fucking joke. Las Vegas was it, and we still had a lot of spins, a lot of single car spins. We had a lot of yellows and people spinning out, and people still learning what they can and couldn't do. And this was more of a test session, okay? This is like the first real test under race conditions for this car, for these teams at an intermediate track. Okay, so in my opinion, what I want to do, or what I see me doing this week, is not looking at Las Vegas 1. Okay, I want to look at the recent performance on intermediate tracks and compare that with specifically the run in the month of May. I understand that Dover was very early, only the second intermediate track, but if you look at the span between Dover, Darlington 1, Kansas 1, and Charlotte, those are very repeatable races and outcomes that teams were able to go to and perform with. I know that was like jumbled up beyond belief, but the teams who were good in that period were good in that period. I mean, like, duh, but hold on. The people who showed speed there, dominated the month of May. Legit showed up, were top 10 cars each and every race. And then some people were able to use that and continue on to Nashville, continue on to, Darlington 2, Kansas 2, and things like that. Other teams, when we look specifically kind of at the Hendrick boys, kind of at the Penske guys, even the RFK guys, if they ran poorly or they didn't perform as well as they wanted to at Dover, Darlington 1, Kansas 1, Charlotte, you saw that they were able to take that data. Maybe they weren't able to necessarily apply it at Nashville because I was only 3 weeks away from Charlotte. But you take some time off between Road America, Atlanta, New Hampshire. Yes, you could look at Pocono. Yes, you could look at Michigan. But I want to specifically look at where these teams showed up and where they raced at Darlington 2, Kansas 2, and Bristol. What is going on here? What is Pearce doing? Anyway, we see a bit of an improvement. So let's talk about the recent the recent cars at Texas, and then we can talk about kind of how they performed from Texas to Kansas to Darlington 2, and then kind of compare that to how they were running in the month of May. That's specifically what I want to look at. Okay, that is what I'm going to use to have my targets that I want to target, or have my drivers that I want to target on Sunday. Yes, we're going to have practice. Yes, practice is going to dictate a lot. Can these teams replicate what they've had recently between the last 3 races, or show improvement from what they were doing I'm talking way too much. You know what I mean. Looking at recent history, expecting to where I think people are going to fall into and see if they can replicate that. My expectations in practice and qualifying, and if they can, I like it. If they can't, I want to see how far below my expectations they're performing, and if I believe that they can go back to what I think they're going to do, or if I'm going to remove them from the pool entirely. Okay, so when we look at Texas, yes, people were blowing tires. Yes, this race was chaotic. Yes, it was a long event. Yes, we basically ran on 2 different tracks because they had the race that started, then it rains, and they go on a track again, and it was a lot of things, okay? But in general, who was fast at Texas? Second best car of the day, William Byron. What's interesting about William Byron is when you specifically look at, and you know what, I am going to, let's show this, because we're not getting a lot of views anyway. Nobody watches this stuff anyway. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's talk about it. As you can see, Pearce is working in the sheet right now. I'm not sure what he's doing. But yeah, so let's go ahead and look at Texas. Okay, I'm on the wrong track. I'm on the wrong page. Move this over here. All right, when we look at Texas, what is going on? As I said, okay, here we go. Uh, as we look at Texas, yes, second best car of Texas, but look at what Hendrick was able to do for Byron specifically, and we're kind of going to go through each and every driver here, and not necessarily a picks video, but look, we have Las Vegas and Homestead. Then we're done with intermediates. This data is no longer usable past Las Vegas and Martinsville. Okay, not going to be used next year because they're going to make changes. They're still going to probably be with the independent rear suspension and stuff like that. I made a rant video. Some people might like them, some people might not. Whatever the case is, you understand my opinions there. We're not going to take a gigantic step back, but I believe a lot of this data that we recovered this year will not be real usable next year. So, Las Vegas, Homestead. Last two races this time to really lean into data that we have seen. Yes, Martinsville going to be difficult to pass. Phoenix going to be difficult to pass. This is going to be qualifying, holding positions, and pit road. Okay, that's how I would highlight these two races here to end the year. Pit road, qualifying position. Going to be it. And track position. Qualifying / track position. These two races, Homestead, Las Vegas 2, I think these are the last two races this year that we can actually use data. And lean into what we've seen this year. Okay, so let's kind of go into that. So when we look at Texas, Byron, second best at Texas, fourth best at Kansas 2, third best at Darlington 2. Why is this so interesting? Because when we look at how he ran and how he performed, and I'm using this because my mouse is also acting stupid. I cannot wait. If you guys would like to donate a little bit more, support me buying a new computer. Yes, I know I have the money, but if you want to show your support, if you've had some good weeks, if you had a good year, maybe you really are just leaning full into NFL, or you want to donate an early Christmas present, feel free to support me, support Pearce, and donate in our PayPal, or donate to me, and I can share some with Pearce, whatever you guys want to do there. But I would like some support if you would like to help me out. When we look at the month of May, yes, fourth best. I mean, look, you can see, so I don't have to verbally say anything. I don't have to verbally say it out loud. But when we look at how Byron did in the month of May, that was very replicatable. That was very repeatable. You know what I'm trying to say. People were able to replicate how they are running in this span, and whether that be at the front of the field, middle of the field, whatever the case is. This is a situation where we had some ups and downs for William Byron. Swing, miss, swing, miss. I know he ran into an issue at Nashville. I believe that's when he got involved in the wreck. If we go back and look at finishing position, I should have just moved this. If you look at finishing position, yeah, this is, and he got involved in the Coca-Cola 600. He got involved in a wreck at Nashville. So even with that, and I think the Nashville one was pretty early in the day. I think he got in the back, either starting in the back of the field. Something happened. I know it happened early in the race. But anyway, you look here, some glimpses of hope. Okay, but without incidents, without being involved in a wreck, without running with stupid strategy. Look at what Byron was able to replicate 3 races in a row. That is huge. That is a top 5 car, and I doubt that he is going to be the most expensive guy. Byron needs to be on the radar. Okay, when we go to Texas, yes, 11th for Logano at Kansas, 5th at Darlington 2. When we look at kind of what he did earlier, did he show any signs? Did he show any glimmers and stuff? Ran pretty poorly at Dover. Darlington basically had, I would argue, probably the 7th best car. Yes, he won this race. Yes, it shows he has the best car, but that's because so many people were taken out. And that was one thing that I was telling Pearce earlier last week, is that, look, this data, I mean, I love looking at this page specifically, but when we look back at the lap-by-lap stuff, this here projected really how teams should have ran, the teams that should have been up there winning. And when I say should have, it makes it sound like I'm doing like cop-out and stuff. No, like this pointed to play the Toyotas. The Toyotas are going to be here. They are going to be fast. We need to be on them. Now, did that always pan out? No, we had several instances where they would blow tires, spin out, be involved in wrecks and stuff. But looking at this here, this is what I like to look at as a whole to project for Las Vegas and Homestead. And so when we look at Logano, okay, do I think he's going to be a top 5 car? No. Do I think he's going to be probably 8th or 9th? Yes. I want to go back probably tomorrow, look at Darlington, see where he practiced here, see where he practiced at Texas. Okay, what were the differences between that and Kansas? Because in my opinion, there should not be this big of a gap between how he ran at Texas and Darlington. What happened at Kansas? What caused this? Was this the anomaly, or were these two the anomalies? Compared to what he did at the intermediates this year, when I think he should be running around like 7th or something. Michigan ran well. Pocono ran into an issue here. For me, Seems like third and fifth could have possibly had things go his way, but these things are good to see. We'll put Logano as like a top 10 car or whatever. We look at Hamlin. We look at how he ran here. Look, Dover probably should have won it. Had Cody Ware spin. Charlotte is the race. It says second best. Charlotte, they missed. They whiffed. No reason in hell Hamlin should have won that race from starting the pole because he was slow, didn't lead laps. Came back, led laps late in the race on a green-white checker and won the race after, I think, 2 green-white checkers, and the whole field kept on dying. This is where he was running, anywhere from I would probably argue, probably 8th best car between these races here. When we got through into Nashville, best car at Nashville, thrown away on a stupid pit call. I have no fucking idea what Joe Gibbs was thinking there. Yet again, this year, I have no idea what these crew chiefs are thinking. Please hire me, and I will tell you guys when to pit and when not to pit. Hire me as a strategist. I don't even have to be the crew chief. Just please, somebody, hire me, and I will tell you what to do. Okay? Pocono was able to replicate it in a very good way. Michigan, able to replicate in a good way. I understand that Pocono and Michigan are not exactly one-to-one cars. I understand those tracks are nowhere near similar to Las Vegas. However, it is good to see when they were able to get away from people being stupid and be involved in wrecks, ran into issues there. We're seeing that they ran awesomely at Nashville. They ran great at Pocono. So we're seeing good intermediate track. We're seeing good single car speed. Because I look at Pocono and Michigan as single car where the teams are in their aerodynamic capabilities on an actual track, unlike the super speedways, on an actual track where that is going to come into play and Hamlin's going to come into play. Okay, so Hamlin had fantastic form entering Darlington. What does he do? Run the best car at Darlington. Had the best car at Darlington. Top 5 car at Kansas too. Top 10 car at Texas. But Texas, got stupid. A lot of variables there. When I see this, Hamlin, in my opinion, should have a top 6 car at Las Vegas. We'll see what he brings in practice. But Hamlin and Byron so far seem to be... What is this sorted by? Real fast anyway. What is... I don't know what he's sorting by on this. Let me take this off because I don't know what is on the right that he might want to hire that he's sorting by. That's what he's looking at. Okay. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just scratching my nose. So this is actually, I'll just fucking say it. This is sorted by the last 3 races intermediate ranking, which saves you a lot here. We're going to put this back on the screen. I'm curious why it's leaning. It's probably leaning Hamlin more. Okay, so let's see if I agree with how this what the data is showing us here. Texas top 5, top 10s for Kansas, Pocono, Nashville top 10, top 10. I'm probably gonna see Blaney as around 9th. Reddick has been extremely fast. Ran into issues at Kansas, just wasn't able to. Did he get in the wall? Yes, he got in the wall. Reddick blew a tire. Not blew a tire. He hit the wall. I don't remember. Reddick wrecked out of this one, right? Reddick. Kansas, yeah, because I had a shitload of Tyler Reddick. Of course I would. Of course I do. Of course, a horse. Best car at Texas. Probably best. I forgot exactly how many laps he led. But should have had a really good day at Kansas. Ended up getting involved in a wreck. Darlington 2, top 7 car. When we look at Nashville, ran into issues there, but that race got stupid. I mean, this is what I want to see, man. Reddick, I would put Reddick in front of Blaney. My main targets I'm seeing right now: Byron, Hamlin, Reddick. I'm gonna lean on Truex. He'll probably still be in the 9K range. I think people are being incredibly burned with Truex. So people just don't want to play him. He keeps coming in very, very low owned. I'll keep playing him at intermediate tracks because, as I said, we're going to run out of time to be able to play these guys here. I'm probably not going to focus on Larson unless I see some outrageous speed in practice. So we'll see from that. Chastain has had a pretty bad run lately. 11 best of Texas, just wasn't able to get really up there. He got stuck in traffic. Not stuck in traffic, but just stuck in a running position to where he was like 9th best, 8th best. Kansas, too, just wasn't able to gain position. Same thing with Darlington. And I think this is more of teams catching up, because when we look at this period here, when he was just like the end-all, be-all, nobody could catch up. I think this is more so the teams. These guys around Chastain, Reddick, Truex, Hamlin, Blaine. I think this is these guys catching up here. We see how Bella's doing, ran extremely well. And good speed there. When we look at Darlington, Kansas, and Texas, ran into a big issue at Texas, but top 5 car here. And so as we're going through and really looking at, these last couple of races here, and I understand, I'm not trying to take your time or talk to you like you're an idiot. I know you can look at the screen as well, but this is what I'd like to do here. So when we look at McDowell, it's weird that hasn't ranked so high. McDowell ran fucking dog shit here, and this might be leaning more on finishing positions. Let's see where McDowell finished in these races. 7th at Darlington, 8th. So this is taking in a lot of finishing equity as well. And I hate to lean on finishing equity, man, because I just like looking at where these guys were in terms of speed. But here, 7th best at Texas, 19th best Kansas, 11th best at Darlington 2. What is the guy going to do? He's probably going to qualify 16th. Why do I keep projecting McDowell as an 11th place finishing position? Because that's where I think he comes in at. That's where I think he's going to finish and stuff. I cannot nail McDowell. I've spent the whole year not being able to nail McDowell worth a darn. Okay. Bubba Wallace, 2nd best Kansas 2, 12th best Darlington. Texas, got into an issue. But I think this is good to see. We're seeing that top 15 for sure. Let's kind of compare that with how a single car run. Michigan, that's good to see. Pocono, still right around 12th. That's good to see. 12 here, 13, 16, 16. I mean, right at 12. I think that's fine. I think Bubba might actually end up being a value this week just because I don't think he's going to be priced as the 12th best, most expensive guy. He'll probably end up coming around 15, 14. Might be 7K, low 8K range. I like Bubba Wallace as a bit of a value here in this. Real up and down. I'm going to lean on Suarez, what his practice speed here, because this is a guy who has been really all over the place in terms of recent speed. I'm going to lean primarily on the practice data for Suarez. Jones looking good, ran a fantastic, put himself in position to win at Darlington. Got involved in a crash or an issue at Kansas too. Don't remember off the top of my head. 10th best at Texas. When we look back and look at the things of what showed that he could have been there. 7th best Michigan, 8th best Pocono. Good single car speed. I think people don't pay attention to that. This should have given you insight that, look, this car is for real. Even going back, 20th at Nashville, which he got stuck in the back in this race. Stuck in traffic. Had a terrible car here. Still finished 17th. That late race restart really did help him here. But look at where he was finishing here. Top 15 car. I think Jones is going to be a top 15 car this week. Okay, so keep that in mind when we get to Jones and we see Jones, what he's priced at, going to be good here. I don't think Bowman is racing this weekend. It's Tuesday. I'll worry about that later. Cindric, not going to go into. When I was mentioning, I don't know if I did it here. I had to restart recording. RFK is an example of people who struggled in May. When we look at how these cars are, and yes, he got involved in a wreck at Darlington and in a wreck at Charlotte. Same with Busch being involved in a wreck at Charlotte when he flipped over and took a tumble. But look at look at these speeds here. Okay, we continue to go through Pocono. Just not showing speed. Michigan, 20th. Now, my hypothesis is that they've been able to take the data. They understand what they're doing incorrectly here, able to apply it with either a different type of setup, a different type of approach, different type of sim data, whatever they're doing. They realize that, look, this is just not working. We need to take some gigantic swings, and they were able to replicate good speed, in my opinion here. This is an increase. Darlington 215th best car, that's an increase. Back to what it was. Texas did get a bit crazy, but that's not a fluke, okay? Him having the 8th best car, we're seeing improvement, okay? We are seeing improvement this year. So we'll keep that in mind. Dillon, I don't think is really a main thing. Chase Elliott, going to be a top 5 car. We'll lean on practice. We'll lean on practice to really dictate between Chase Elliott and the people up here. Why is Elliott so low? Why is he ranked so low? So let's go. 4th best Texas. I forgot what happened to him at Kansas. No, he got in the wall at Darlington. That ended his day early. Michigan's slow. You hate to see it. Pocono's good. Nashville had the best car outside of the Joe Gibbs guys. Good. Like I'm here to expect that Elliott is going to arrive at the track with top 5 car in terms of practice speed. So I'm excited to see that. Kyle Busch is going to be there as well. Okay. Angry, mad. I know that, a lot of folks are still going to be on Bell, but look, Kyle Busch, he probably won't be the most expensive. I'm thinking he'll probably be like 10-2, 10-1. I think it's worth a shot. I understand recently they ran into some issues here, but look, Texas was running good until it ran into issues. Kansas too ran into issues. What happened to Kyle? He spin out, get in the wall. Don't remember what happened to Kyle at Kansas too, but second best at Darlington too. We know that Kyle is going to be here. If Kyle can get open, clean air, he's going to be gone. Haley, we'll worry about that. Probably going to be right around like 18th projected finish for me. Just gonna have to. I'm gonna trust what Hamrick brings on practice speed alone here. Because at this point, we've identified the clear top 10 contenders. Yes, Hamrick can be a top 15 contender, but unless we see practice speeds across the board, short run, long run, pointing to a top 5, probably won't end up going to Hamrick. I don't think Chase Briscoe is anything special to write home about. Let's see, real quick. Probably 19th on a good day. Buscher. Oh, excuse me. I think he's right around 19th, man. Probably 19th, 17th, 16th, somewhere around there. Eric Almirola at this point, we're probably just going to take whoever we can get the most place differential from. Cole Custer's getting the book thrown at him currently. NASCAR, whatever. Don't really care. Championship's made up anyway. Doesn't matter. Probably 20th. We're seeing Ty Dillon. This is what I mean. You should be playing Ty Dillon each and every week. If he's going to stay low 5K range for a guy who's going to promise you a 21st place car each and every week, look where this guy's running. Okay, 21st, 26, 26. You know what happens here with him running 26? We have some good cars get involved in wrecks. That moves up to a 21st. Okay? Michigan, 21st. It's crazy how consistent. I will project Ty Dillon to finish 22nd at Las Vegas. That's going to make him a good value play. Stenhouse was saying that they were saying based on this period here, which I think this is a situation where people have caught up and passed him, JTG Dordery, that is, good car here, has not been able to replicate it, okay? 24th at Nashville, seal car speed. 18th, that's fallen back compared to what it was. When we look at Pocono, when we look at Michigan, got involved in a wreck. Darlington too, slow, man. Got involved in a wreck too, but slow. 18th best. I think we have to pull Stenhouse out of that. I don't think he has this type of clearly anybody has this type of upside, but when we're looking at the data, I don't think it's going to be there. I just realized I'm blocking the screen. You guys should have told me. What am I doing? All right. Burton. This is why I lead. Yes, he finished 18th best here. We can compare finish. Like I said, I just like looking at pace, speed, and where they're at in terms of the entire field. Because wrecks and everything can cause people to finish better or worse compared to where they are. But I like Ty Dillon more than Harrison Burton unless I get more place differential or a super cheap price point from Harrison Burton. Outside of that, I think they're very identical plays. Daniel Hamrick, probably not going to go to him. Corey LaJoy not playing. Lion Ted. At this point, we are seeing that. Look at how poorly Gillen is in terms of raw speed. This is rough to look at. So let's just have in our head, Todd Gillen is the 28th to 25th best car on the track. Okay, so this has been replicated nearly the entire year. From 30th to 26th, Ty Dillon will be there. Let's go ahead and look at his finishing positions. I guarantee you he's getting top 25 finishes from people being stupid in these races. So let's see. Texas, 28th. Wasn't able to take advantage. 23rd, 28th. Okay, Michigan 27th, Pocono 27th, 24th. Actually not gaining nearly as much as I thought. Is that because he's trapped a lap down? Is that because he just doesn't have the speed to get up there? That's a concern. Yet again, it leans to Todd Gillen being a way better value play. It leans to Harrison Burton being a way better value play. Okay, so unless we get like Todd Gillen starting way in the back of the field and stuff, okay, Todd's squad might have to be put on ice for now. Might have to not be chased as much. So keep that in mind. When we look at Garrett Smithley, just can't do it, man. I'm not going to go there. Cody Ware, is he even back this week to still have a broken leg? Yet again, kind of the same thing with Todd. Look at where Ware is in terms of speed. We'll put him at 32nd in finishing positions. This is what I mean, man. Like at intermediates, these guys are in play, man. These cup guys get stupid. We're gonna come away with some mid-20 finishes. Okay, so we got to keep him in play. All right, and I think for projections wise, if you project Cody Ware like 29th, regardless of where he starts, 29th, I think that's a good indication of how likely he can perform, even in a poor day. You know, like if you're building a line, and you project Cody Ware, and this is the case if he's like in the 4K range. If you look at Cody Ware and you see him, or you project him like a 29th place finish, and it's right at like 24 points, 23 points, 25 points, I think you got to play him, or at least keep him involved, especially if you like the rest of your line. I don't think it necessarily, with how they're racing this year, I don't think it necessarily has to be a short track for these pump plays to come through. Same thing with BJ McLeod as well. Kurt Busch, not racing. Rip Kurt. Miss you, don't want to be you. I doubt Biffle's going to run this week. Have we even looked at the entry list? Because this is probably... Go ahead and look real fast. I think this might just end up being a Cup Series video at this point. Let me see real fast. Yeah, so I'm looking at the entry list right now. Bowman's still on it. Ware's still on it. But there's no update on Bowman's stat, which, we'll figure that out when we get there. But this is just importing, things are already there. Really disappointed that this team stopped running here, because this is actually showing that, hey, they might want to be running here. I wish Biffle would have ran more races. I hate the fact that we just don't have as many guys in these cars anymore. Wow, just kind of depressing. So yeah, when I look at this, and I look at this weekend's race, Byron, Hamlin, Truex, Reddick, Bell stand out to me as guys who can be up there. Chase Elliott clearly, Kyle Busch clearly, and this is just one avenue you can look. You can look at the laps from other intermediate tracks this year. You can look at pit strategy. Also, pit road is going to be huge. That dreaded number 1 pit stall, that's a big concern, especially under green flag pit stops. Under yellow, it's not as bad, but during green flag pit stop number 1 here at Las Vegas is a disadvantage, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that's really, thank you for the bit of the attention and preview for Las Vegas. If you got any questions, do hit me up on Discord or on Twitter. I will be answering that stuff. Just won't be live this weekend, like I said. And thank you very much for being here. Maybe this gives you an update, maybe not. Either way, I will see you guys next week when I come back from being out of town. So I'll see you then.